from the start, I learned a lot about what it means to be supported. Hi, I'm Dr. David Sterling Brown, and I'm Associate Professor of English at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, and I was a 2021 ACLS Mellon Scholars and Society Fellowship recipient. Minding Whiteness actually started out as the title of my current book project, Shakespeare's White Others, and I was really interested in thinking about racial whiteness and how that impacts our world, and also how it's connected to anti-blackness as well when I see it play out in the ways that it does in my book. And I had opportunities to do articles and book chapters in other collections and journals that allowed me to really start exploring that type of work. ACLS Mellon Scholars and Society Fellowship also connected me with a residency host. So I worked with Claudia Rankin's The Racial Imaginary Institute. I got connected with people who are, working in visual arts, and they're people who are working on poetry or psychoanalytic work in terms of therapy. So much for me to think about outside of what I normally do as a humanities scholar, just in terms of maybe the sort of normal day-to-day of teaching, reading, writing. I had opportunities to go visit art galleries, which I wasn't really spending much time in prior to the fellowship, and also just sitting down with people who have curated art exhibitions and things of that nature really opened my eyes up. That's a really hard question to answer because there were so many, but I would say definitely the opportunities that I had to be supported by people, because writing a book is incredibly hard. And there were tears throughout the process, but there were also many people, including my family, who were there to help dry those tears. I had the opportunity to meet UPenn professor Tukufu Zubiri and talk with him about his work, which I do cite and incorporate into my book. And I just learned from him in that moment how it wasn't always that obvious to him that we were doing, that kind of work in Shakespeare studies in terms of thinking about race and whiteness. That was a real sort of eye-opening moment for me that helped me to understand that the mission of Minding Whiteness was a pretty good one. It's important that people know that this work exists because a lot of people know about Shakespeare. And if they know about Shakespeare, I think it's important that they know about Shakespeare and race too. The Scholars and Society Fellowship gave me freedom. So in addition to the creativity that I talked about, just the freedom to explore. The freedom to go down a road and maybe it's not the right road, so I need to make a U-turn and go down another road until I really figured things out. That's what I did with this project, Minding Whiteness, and so there was a lot of trial and error, and there was also a lot of me wanting to get it right. And one of the things that I guess I learned too, though, is when you are thinking outside of the box, there's no real such thing as getting it right. It's what feels right, but there is no sort of right answer to the way that you approach that.